So finally, the Xiaomi 12S Ultra is here, or my replacement for a dumbbell, because this thing weighs about 230 grams. Anyway, that's how light I lift. You can see that. Now, unfortunately, I have very little time with the phone. I had about half a day, 3/4 of a day with it. So all I did was test that new 1-inch Sony IMX989 sensor inside this phone, because I was actually pretty excited about it, and I even made a video about it before the phone came to us. Link should pop up right now. But you know what? After capturing a few images with the phone, how do I put this subtly? It's been a mixed experience, and I think there's still a long way to go for these 1-inch sensors inside phones. So alright, so if you don't know me yet, I'm Ershad. You're watching Track and Take English, and this is us testing the new 1-inch sensor inside the Xiaomi 12S Ultra. Now, because you have so many cameras and a very large camera sensors on the Xiaomi 12S Ultra, the camera module itself, that ring module, is very big. It juts out a lot from the rear, and the phone, like I mentioned earlier, is a huge device. Now, along with that Sony IMX989 1-inch sensor, you get an attached 8P lens with an aperture of f/1.9, and it is also optically stabilized. Now, this IMX989 can output pictures at full res at 50.3 megapixels or in a 4:1 pixel binned sample, and that has a pixel size of 3.2 microns. It's going to be supremely sharp. Now, Zach from Jerry Everything took apart the phone and showcased that this sensor is not exactly 1 inch in length. In fact, it's much smaller than 1 inch in length. But that's not really a problem in the world of photography, because 1-inch sensors are also measured in a way where the sensor itself should fit within a circular ring with a diameter of 1 inch. And that actually is true for the Xiaomi 12S Ultra's Sony IMX989. So this is not really controversial or something that you need to worry about. This is very much still a 1-inch sensor type. First things first, the advantage of having such a large sensor is, by now you all know, is the kind of sharp textures that you can achieve, the kind of detail and fidelity that you get from the images that you capture, not in HDR mode, is absolutely fantastic. It's possibly the best in the world right now. And there's absolutely no overprocessing here, which is a good thing. The raw sensor sharpness itself is so good that you can see that it is leagues better than the other devices. I really wish I had more time to actually compare it to a smaller sensor inside another phone like the Galaxy S22 Ultra or the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Furthermore, since the camera sensor is so big, if you have a clear subject in the foreground and a proper background, you get such a natural bokeh that you do not really need a separate portrait mode. For the camera nerds out there, the attached lens focal length is actually 23mm and 35mm equivalent. And by now we all know that this is for the very first time that we've seen a Xiaomi phone with the Leica collaboration. And of course, you've got two color science options where you can pick between the Leica Authentic mode or the Leica Vibrant mode. You cannot really switch them off. But truth be told, after testing it, I noticed that even the Authentic mode is not very authentic, but it comes close to what the true colors look like. But the Vibrant mode is just too oversaturated for my eyes. But many folks like such vibrant pictures to share them directly on social media. Now, like these vibrant pictures that you folks love sharing on social media, I'd love it if you also shared our videos on social media, maybe even like and comment below for the sake of the YouTube algorithm. And of course, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon right next to it to get notified whenever we put out an awesome new tech video. Now, in this comparison of my colleague Sagar, you can see that the red t-shirt is slightly oversaturated, even in the Authentic mode, let alone the Vibrant one. Also, I see that the Vibrant one does, reduce some of the sharpness and the details, but the facial tones are near accurate on the Authentic mode, which is definitely a good thing. Also, I did notice that the 12S Ultra's algorithm struggled to maintain the right exposure most of the time. Now, while you do get possibly what is the best sensor sharpness that you can achieve from a camera inside a phone, it is the multi-stack processing or Xiaomi's algorithm that kind of botches up things out here. For example, if you want to shoot HDR images, the phone only gives you the option to do auto HDR or no HDR. It doesn't really give you the option to shoot at HDR on at all times. And that's annoying, because in this scene of this window where I want, the bright part of the image and the, foreground's dark part to be the, fixed with multi-stack processing and HDR, is not really possible because auto HDR doesn't fire. But then I took a look at the HDR shots when the auto HDR actually fired, and oh my god, they were so unnaturally overprocessed. This is possibly the reason why Xiaomi doesn't want to give you control. From an overtly tone matte look to botched colors to HDR bloom, it is clearly one of the worst HDR tuning tuning I've seen in recent times in flagship phones. I'm really disappointed in it. And similarly, there's only an auto night mode and there's no way to, switch on night mode on at all times. But this is not that much of a problem as much as the HDR option was. Now, I say that because the sensor is very capable. You get clean low light shots even without night mode on, and even in this extremely dark situation, the phone just slows down the shutter to just 1 second. And that's the kind of confidence it has in the sensor itself. Now, this scene was again shot in about 10 lux with only the screen lighting up my colleague's face, and the 12S Ultra again did a great job, and again with night mode off. Now, in the final set of multi-stack processing samples, we come to portraits. By default, the camera crops in 2x digitally for a portrait shot. The facial tones don't match with the 1x portrait, and the details are softer, obviously because it has been digitally zoomed in. Now, the 1x portrait sample bungles up the edge detection slightly, but is overall a decent looking picture. However, I'd much rather not use portrait mode at all, because you go close to a subject and you get really good natural depth of field, and you don't really need, artificial, bokeh that is created by software. So finally, the Xiaomi 12S Ultra's Sony IMX9891 1-inch sensor is a very capable sensor, but in its current form, Xiaomi's algorithm doesn't do justice to it. Especially when it comes to multi-stack processing like HDR and portraits. It's almost like the camera engineers at Xiaomi didn't really know how to tame the beast. But I know I could be being too critical right now because the phone hasn't launched globally yet and maybe never will. But you know what? This makes me believe that this could also be one of the reasons why the phone hasn't launched globally yet and maybe might not see a global launch, because Xiaomi has clearly mentioned it, because the camera is not ready for prime time. However, there's a ray of hope in this tweet by Ice Universe, which apparently showcases that the Xiaomi 12S Ultra has an Easter egg in the form of a Surge C2 chip inside it. Now, if this is actually true, Ice Universe predicts that Xiaomi could probably move the AI processing to this specific Surge C2 chip, and that could happen with an OTA update, and we could probably see better pictures overall. Hopefully, a lot of things are changed in due time with software updates. We'll have to wait and watch. And I will definitely wait and watch and probably revisit this phone in the future, especially if it has a global launch. If it doesn't, then I'm not gonna revisit it. So what do you guys think of the 12S Ultra's camera prowess? Do let me know in the comment section below. Until next time, this is Ershad signing off. Keep tracking and stay safe.